The Avenger hangs near the moon. The Avengers are upset. They believe that Thanos destroyed the Earth. Captain America says that there are no fragments left of the planet, and this is suspicious. The Widow contacts the Avengers. He says that Ant-Man reduced the planet to hide it from Thanos. Thanos arrives on the moon. He says that the Avengers will not be able to deceive him. Thanos strikes at the Avenger and he falls to the surface of the moon. The heroes attack Thanos. Thor throws a hammer, which the Hulk grabs. The Hulk accelerates, hits Thanos, and he falls on his back. The Avengers attack Thanos, but he throws them away. Thanos scans the space. His voice sounds all over the Earth. Titan says he will destroy the Earth and blames the Avengers for the death of the planet. Thanos broadcasts a recording of his battle with the Avengers on all screens of the planet. The captain says that a new plan is needed. Stark replies that his new satellite can destroy Thanos, with the help of which Ant-Man sprayed PEM particles over the entire planet. But for the plan to work, the energy of all countries is needed. The whole world must unite. The Widow says she will contact the leaders of all countries and encourage them to cooperate. Thanos destroys the Observer's base on the moon. He siphons data from the Observer's computer. World leaders refuse to cooperate and reject the Widow's offer. Thanos finds Earth and it assumes its usual dimensions. Thanos flies to Earth. The Avengers are attacked by the Black Order. Thor fights with Corvus Glaive. The captain runs to Cull Obsidian, but the supergiant captures the Mind Falcon and he attacks the captain. Hawkeye shoots at the supergiant and she loses control of Sam's mind. Thanos arrives on Earth and goes to New York. The Widow tries to convince the world leaders to cooperate, but they refuse again. The Widow informs Tony about it. The Falcon captures the ship of the Black Order and attacks the villains. The Avengers board the ship and fly to Earth. Tony says he has a plan to detain Thanos. The Black Order breaks into the ship. The battle begins again. Tony flies out through the hatch to stop Thanos. The ship of the Black Order falls on the street of the city. Avengers jump out of it, fighting with members of the Black Order. Tony in giant armor stands in front of Thanos. A giant fight begins. Iron Man initially manages to detain the Titan, but soon Thanos throws Iron Man into the city. Proxima Midnight throws Hawkeye into the wall and he loses consciousness. The supergiant captures the mind of Thor and he strikes the Hulk with lightning. But the God of Thunder quickly frees himself from control and strikes the villain with lightning. Thor knocks Cull Obsidian to the ground. Iron Man fights Thanos. Titan begins to win. Tony tries to pump quantum energy out of Thanos, but this overloads his suit. Thanos breaks Tony's giant armor. Stark himself manages to leave the suit at the last moment. Tony puts on armor in the air and flies into the window of one of the buildings. Thanos is attacked by Captain America. Titan throws a piece of a building at him. Thanos wants to crush the captain. He invites the residents of the city to bow before him, but people start throwing stones at Titan and his henchmen. Each of the residents of the city calls himself an Avenger. Ant-Man grows to the size of Thanos and strikes Titan in the jaw. The villain falls on the ground. A New Yorker armed with stones and rebar is attacked by Thanos and the Black Order. The Avengers are helped to rise. Thanos rises to his feet. A beam from Tony's satellite hits him. The Widow says that this is not the end of the battle. Scott says that the satellite has not used all the energy. It still needs time to gain full power. The Avengers attack Thanos. The captain gives the Hulk his shield. Thor throws the Hulk and he hits Thanos in the back of the head with the shield. The Widow manages to convince world leaders to unite. All energy networks direct power to Stark's satellite. A beam of energy presses the Titan to the ground. Thanos shatters into pieces. In the tower, Tori and Hulk play video games. Hulk gives Barton his personal joystick. Clint hugs friends. The Widow informs that she has been invited to work at the UN. Falcon brings a cake that his mother baked. Tony tells Jarvis that the Guardians of the Galaxy have detained the Black Order, and Thanos will need several centuries to restore his body. Jarvis says that the crime rate has decreased worldwide. The captain enters. Tony shows him new candidates for the team. Kids on the street are playing Avengers. Suddenly they see Captain America fighting a group of villains called the Lords of Evil. The captain is joined by the rest of the Avengers. The Hulk beats up the leader of the Goliath gang. He is stopped by Iron Man. The villains are detained. The Avengers gather in the tower. The Widow says that all their enemies have been defeated, so Ant-Man left the team and the Avengers expansion program was stopped. Tony supports Natasha, saying that each of the Avengers successfully fights crime alone. Tony introduces his new butler Friday to friends and ends the meeting. In the corridor, the Widow asks the Captain and the Falcon to help her in the task. The Widow Captain and the Falcon fly in the Widow's car to the IIM base. Natasha, dressed in the IIM uniform, leads the bound Falcon and the Captain to the entrance to the base. The heroes deal with the guards and change into the uniform of the IIM soldiers. The heroes get into the gang's hiding place and see 4 soldiers there. A fight begins. The Widow realizes that her opponent is disguised as Hawkeye. The Avengers take off the villains' uniforms. The Falcon wants to attack the last soldier, but Tony and Thor stop him. The soldier removes the mask and turns out to be Bruce Banner. The new leader of AIYM orders all the soldiers to gather in the laboratory over the speakerphone. Sokol hacks the database and says that AIYM has got the remains of Ultron. The heroes put on the AIEM uniform again and come to the laboratory. The Supreme Scientist introduces 3 new adaptoids to the soldiers. The adaptoids absorb gamma energy, and the main villain realizes that the Avengers are at the base. He orders his robots to attack the heroes. A fight begins. Barton puts an electric arrow in Banner's ass, and he turns into the Hulk. Adaptoids adopt the superpowers of the heroes. The Avengers decide to split up. Tony and the Captain are fighting with adaptoids in the corridor of the base, but they haven't worked together for a long time and now only interfere with each other. Hulk and Thor are fighting with the second robot. The adaptoid copies their powers and the heroes can't cope with it. The Widow, Falcon, and Clint are fighting with the third adaptoid. Barton shoots at the robot with ice arrows, but the robot is protected by the wings of the Falcon. He shoots the Falcon with a bow and it falls to the floor. The Widow says that if the heroes do not act as a team, the adaptoids will destroy them. The adaptoid grabs Stark and flies with him down the corridor. Tony pushes the robot away and the Captain smashes the adaptoid's head with a shield. The Supreme Scientist orders the adaptoids to move to the second phase. Hal and Thor deal with the adaptoid, but he suddenly flies away. The Avengers find the Supreme Scientist in the laboratory. He merges with the adaptoids and becomes the Supreme Adaptoid. The Supreme Adaptoid attacks the Avengers. The Captain orders to attack the villain in turn. Thor asks the Hulk to count to 10 and then attack. The Hulk counts, but quickly loses his temper and rushes into battle. The Hulk grabs the adaptoid, but the robot throws him away. The adaptoid copies the Captain's shield, Thor's hammer, Falcon wings, and he grows a pair additional hands. The villain throws the Avengers in different directions. Tony says that the adaptoid uses liquid metal unknown to him. It takes time to scan vulnerabilities. The Avengers begin to attack the adaptoid smoothly. As one team, Barton knocks the robot on its back. The Hulk jumps from above and strikes the villain's head. Thor impresses the robot into the wall with lightning bolts. Stark discovers the weak points of the adaptoid. Stark shoots missiles, and the Falcon encloses the flying parts of the adaptoid in containment bubbles. The Hulk tears off the adaptoid's head and the Falcon concludes her in a bubble. The Supreme Scientist wants to blow up the base, but Stark blocked his access. However, due to the battle with the adaptoid, the base begins to collapse and threatens to destroy the city on the surface. The Widow, Barton, and the Captain evaluate the residents of the city. Thor and Hulk try to keep the base from collapsing. Tony and the Falcon use the liquid metal of the adaptoid to secure the beams and stop the destruction. The Avengers bring the Supreme Scientist to the surface. A damaged Ultron gets out of the ground. He absorbs liquid metal from the body of the Supreme Scientist and restores his body. Ultron says that his revolution will begin now. Dear friends, thank you for watching. Like and subscribe to the channel. This is important to me.